Okay, students, welcome back. In this part, we will discuss the quotient rule, and the quotient rule will deal with the situation where we have a numerator and denominator, how we are going to find the derivative. In the previous part, we discussed the product rule, which was if we have two functions and we multiply them with each other, we have a rule called Leibniz rule. For the quotient rule, again, we have another one, and this one is not what you should expect. We would love to have it as simple as this one, but no, that's not the case. Unfortunately, that's not the case. There is a rule, and the rule goes as follows. First of all, we keep the denominator, we just square it. So keep the denominator, just square it. And then take the denominator and multiply it by the derivative of the numerator. Next, you write a big minus sign, because next you will take the numerator and you multiply it by the derivative of the denominator. F of x times g prime. And that's exactly the way it is. So if we just do it with words as we did before, denominator square, denominator derivative of the numerator minus numerator derivative of the denominator. Let me just take this one with us, so whenever we do an exercise, we will use this rule up here. And now we will go to do some exercises using the quotient rule. But before that, let me just go through the differentiation rules once again, because it's very important we keep them in mind. Derivative of a constant is always 0. Derivative of only x is 1. Derivative of square root of x is 1 over 2 square root of x. Derivative of 1 over x is negative 1 over x squared. The power rule, which is important, you take n down and you subtract 1. So you get n minus 1. Derivative of e is e. Derivative of e power kx is ke power x. Derivative of ax is just ax ln a. And we have, if there is a number in front of the function, we just take the derivative of the function, we keep the number as is. We have the sum rule. If there is f of x plus g of x, it's only derivative of first plus derivative of second. And in the previous part, we did derivative of first times second for the product rule plus first times derivative of second. And now we will use the quotient rule, which goes like denominator square, denominator, derivative of the numerator minus numerator, derivative of denominator. So in this question, we need to find y prime for this one. So we'll just go ahead and we'll find y prime. So y prime equal to, now I will use the quotient rule. Why do I need to use the quotient rule? Because remember, the quotient rule is used if we have numerator and denominator, which is what we have in this case. Now, let's just write the bracket first so that we don't miss anything. In the down here, I will write the denominator square, and then I will write the denominator again times derivative of the numerator minus, remember it's a minus, and minus is very, very important, we don't forget it. I will write the numerator times derivative of the denominator. Let's start with it. First of all, what shall we write here? According to what is written, we just need to write the denominator. What shall we write up here? Again, should be the denominator. Next, what shall we write here? We need to write the derivative of the numerator. What is derivative of 2? 2 has no x, so the derivative is 0. Next, what shall we write here? we need to write the numerator. What is the numerator? Is 2. So you just go ahead and write 2. What shall we write here? We need to write derivative of the denominator. So look at this one and tell me what is the derivative. Well, derivative of x is 1 times 5, so it will be just 5. Derivative of 1 is 0, so the answer will be just 5. Now, we can simplify because if we have 0 multiplied by anything is 0. 2 times 5 is just 10, so you get negative 10 top divided by 5x plus 1 square. And that's the derivative up here. We'll do another example. So we continue with the same method. If you write this one, just then follow the steps that you have. So again, y prime equal to, I will write the rule as is. And I will apply it. So first of all, it's the denominator square. This is the denominator, I square it. Next bracket in the top is the denominator, so I write just the denominator, times the derivative of the numerator. What's the derivative of 1 is 0. What's the derivative of minus x is just negative 1. Because derivative of x is 1. This one will go away and there is a minus, so it's minus 1. Minus, and remember minus is very important. Numerator without any changes times the derivative of the denominator, which is minus 2x. Of course, we can simplify this one a little bit. Open the bracket and see what kind of simplification we can have. If we take minus 1 inside, it will be minus 1 plus x squared. For the other one, it will be minus 2 minus multiplied by 1. So it will be 2x. Next, minus 2 minus 1 minus 1. This will be just minus 2x squared. And this is just, if we simplify it for the last time, it will be just minus x squared plus 2x minus 1. And that's the answer for this question. So sometimes you need to use algebra to simplify the function if there is kind of simplification. Otherwise, you just can find if you keep it like this, depends on the question and what's asked in the question. Again, we will use the quotient tool here. So we need to find y prime and that goes as follows. Denominator square is just x. Denominator times the derivative of the numerator, which is e power x, minus numerator, which is ex, times derivative of the denominator, which is just 1, because derivative of x is just 1. I think this we can only simplify it only one step. Here we have x squared, here we have ex minus ex. And that's the final answer for this question. So the quotient rule looks a bit complicated, but if you just think about it carefully, it's very simple. Just write the formula correctly and then just find the derivative using the differentiation rules we just saw in a minute. Here we need to find an equation of the tangent line to this function. So again, just let me remind you, because those questions are very important. to find an equation of the tangent line, remember this is not just any line, it's the tangent line, we need a point on the line and the slope m of the line. So let me first find the point. So the first thing I will find is a point, and then we'll find the slope. Well, in order to find the point, I have x1 must be given to me in the question. All what you need to do is find y2 or y1. How do we find y1? Well, the only thing we can do, substitute 2, 2, 2, 2, and see what we will get. Now, if we substitute 2 using the calculator, in the top we will get -4, in the bottom we will get 4 minus 8, again it will be -4, so the y1 is just 1. So as a point, we have 2, 1. This is x1, this is y1. That's how we find the point. Next, I'll just take this one. I need it now. Copy it. I'll go to the next page. And we will find, what we will find next is the slope of the tangent line. And remember, the slope of the tangent line is the derivative. So, step number 2, slope. Now, in order to find the slope, we need to find y prime. And remember, y prime has a formula that we can use, which is this one. Because it's a quotient, it has a formula, so we can just take this formula and paste it here. And now things are getting easier. Because we have this. First of all, denominator square, denominator times the derivative of the numerator. What's the derivative of the numerator? It is 2x minus 4 minus numerator, which is x squared minus 4x, times the derivative of the denominator, which is 2 minus 3x squared. Now, what we need to do is we need to find y prime exactly at the number 2. So, have your calculator ready to find exactly at 2, what would it be? So, if we do it with the calculator and if we do it correctly, this will be minus 40 here, divided by 16. That's the answer. So it will be minus 5 over 2. Once we have the slope and we have the point, we can write clearly, we can write the equation of the tangent line. So, an equation of the tangent line is y minus y1 equal m x minus x1, y minus y1, y1 was 1, this one was minus 5 over 2, x minus 2, which is x1 is 2. Now the best way to solve this or to deal with this, multiply everything by 2, so we get 2y minus 2 equal minus 5 x minus 2. Take the minus 5 inside, you get minus 5x plus 10. And finally, take 5x to the other side with the y and keep the number on the other side. So move this one to the other side, it will be plus 12, and that's the equation of the tangent.